Have you ever stumbled on a new English word and you're just kind of stumped? But then you look closer and realize, hey, wait a second, that's just two words I already know mashed together. Well, today we're going to demystify that whole process. We're going to show you how you can start to recognize and, hey, maybe even create your own new words. Okay, let's jump right in. Right? It really is like magic, and this word magic is happening all the time in English. Today, we're going to break down the two main ways that words combine to create new ones. This will help you get a much better handle on the English language, which, as you know, is always evolving.
So to make this super clear, I want you to think of the English language as a giant kitchen. And all the words, those are your ingredients. Today, we're going to learn two key recipes for cooking up brand new words. It's a fantastic way to expand your vocabulary and start sounding even more like a native speaker.
All right, here are our two main recipes on the menu. On the left, we've got what we're calling the glue method. Its official name is compounding. This is where you literally just glue two whole words together. And on the right, we have the chop method, or blending. This is where you get to be a bit more of a chef. You actually chop up words and then mix the different pieces. Let's take a closer look at both of these methods, starting with the first one. Okay, first up is the glue method, or compounding. Honestly, this is the most simple and straightforward way to make a new word, and I bet you've been using this method for years without even realizing it. So the key takeaway here, the most important part, is that compounding is all about using two whole words. You just join them. Now, sometimes they get written as one single word, like sunflower. Other times they stay as two separate words, like ice cream. And you'll even see them connected with a hyphen sometimes, like in well-being. But no matter what, the original words stay completely intact. Let's just walk through a super simple example. You take the word water, you add the word bed, you glue them together. And what do you get? A waterbed. See? It really is that easy. You've absolutely been using compound words forever without even giving it a second thought. I mean, think about it. A textbook is, well, it's just a text that's also a book. Or how about this one? This one's a classic. A sunflower is just a flower that looks a little bit like the sun. Makes perfect sense, right? And what about wallpaper? Yep, you guessed it. It's paper that you put on a wall. You see how this works? It's pretty logical once you see the pattern. And of course, a skateboard is a board that you skate on. See? Simple, effective, and we use these words every single day. Pretty cool. All right, time for our second recipe, the chop method, or blending. Now, this is where things get a little more creative. We're going to start to chop up our ingredient words and mix them together in some really new and interesting ways. Now, pay close attention to the definition here because this is the key difference. Blending is all about taking parts of two different words and combining them. This is totally different from compounding, where we use the whole words. With blending, we're actually making something completely new from the pieces. Let's look at a classic example here. So what happens when you combine smoke and fog? You get smog. We take the sma from smoke, the og from fog, and voila! This new word smog perfectly describes that hazy, smoky fog.
Here's a tastier example that you probably already know and love. You know when you have a meal that's a little too late for breakfast, but it's also a bit too early for lunch? Well, what do we call it? Brunch, of course. Breakfast plus lunch. And this one is a fantastic example of how new words pop up to meet new needs. Back when cars first became super popular, people traveling needed a new kind of hotel where they could park their motor cars. And so the motel was born. Motor plus hotel. Now, blending has become really popular in recent years. I mean, think about it. Technology and culture are changing so fast. We need new words to describe all the new stuff. So let's check out a few modern examples. So, have you ever been watching TV late at night and you see a really long commercial that's just packed with information? Yep, that's an infomercial. And what about when you hear someone mixing Spanish and English together, sometimes in the same sentence? That's Spanglish. These are just a couple of perfect examples of how blending is still a huge part of creating new words today. So really, the big takeaway here is that blending is this incredibly powerful tool for creating new words that are not only creative and fun, but also super useful. It's a fantastic way to keep up with a language that's always changing. Okay, so now you know the two main recipes for cooking up new words in English. So here's my challenge to you. Start looking for them. Pay attention to the words you see and hear every day. And who knows, you might even get inspired to create a few of your own. So I gotta ask, what's your favorite blended word? Let us know.